With the situation surrounding Team Vitality going into the Winter Major, otherwise known as Zen, I'm sure a lot of people were rooting for Team Vitality to do well, and indeed they did. Unfortunately though, all good things must come to an end, and today we deep dive into the match that ended this iteration of Team Vitality. We are going to be looking at Vitality's quarterfinal match here against Team Liquid, as they are up 2-1 in the decisive Game 6. So looking right here, we're going to be on board with Sizen to start things off, and this ball is going to be traveling into the corner, and Sizen's going to be following after it. Now, in order to assist his team on his rotation back, Radosin here is going to also work into the corner, and demo off a member from Team Liquid, therefore giving Sizen free control of this ball up the wall. However, what happens next is the first issue that we're gonna see. So let's go ahead and roll this forward. So Radosin gets the demo, free ball for Sizen, and now let's look at what he decides to do with it. So yes, he's on 0 boost, but he does have a little bit of space. He could try to control this ball to force a 50-50, but I don't know if he just wasn't expecting Radosin to get the demo, or if he just wasn't able to react in time to now having all this open space, but instead of taking the ball slow, he just booms it away and gives the ball away for free to a Chronic. Now this is what's going to allow Team Liquid to get control of this ball and dictate the rest of this play. Switching over now to Alpha Cam, another thing we'll notice is that he has kind of found himself stuck in an awkward situation as he is just really close to Sizen, followed him into the corner and around this wall. So now he is going to be working to get back, which means it's Radosin's responsibility to go up to cut off this play from a Chronic. So we'll go ahead and see how this goes. A Chronic goes ahead and taps the ball up, Radosin up into the air, trying to race Oski to the ball, and Alpha is just going to go ahead and chill here on the backboard. Now this makes sense because in this position we might be expecting this 50-50 to either result in pinching out to one of the sides, or to the backboard, or downfield. We are not really anticipating a hard kick into the ceiling here. Unfortunately, that is exactly what happens as Radosin does not get the best challenge, gets beat out by Oski, and this ball just hard shoots into the ceiling. So we'll see this ball bounce down. Now, from Alpha's perspective, we see a Chronic right here, and we're a little worried about him running on to take this shot. But if we'll also recognize, a Chronic's not really moving much at all. He's kind of going quite slow. So this ball drops down, and I believe, it's a dangerous idea to go for, but I believe Alpha rushes this touch. I don't think a Chronic is going to get here fast enough to shoot this ball around Alpha if he allows this thing to bounce ever so slightly. I think it would be in his best interest here to let this ball bounce and then get a clear over to the right side of the field towards Sizen, therefore taking a Chronic out of the play as he will have to chase the ball across. Instead, Alpha tries to pinch this ball out as fast as possible, and he unfortunately doesn't get the best touch on it, and it kind of ends up just being a pass to a Chronic. So a little bit more time spent here might have eliminated this threat and allowed Vitality to maintain control of the ball into open space. So go ahead and see the touch that he gets. He kind of jumps over it, and you'll see that a Chronic's nowhere near this play. Like, a Chronic is anticipating Alpha to go ahead and get this quick touch, so a Chronic is just waiting for this mistake. This is why I believe Alpha had the time, and if he had read a Chronic, we wouldn't have had this issue at all. But he goes ahead and pinches this ball out, and now a Chronic's going to run on and take this shot. So now we're going to go ahead and flip over to Sizen. So Sizen is now rushing back, and he sees this moment here of a Chronic taking the shot. So of course, Sizen's first thought is, okay, I need to rush back and get here and try to jump up and make a save as quickly as possible because I don't have a whole lot of time with this shot coming on. So he's going to go ahead and power his way back. He's rushing, and then all of a sudden he gets here and he's like, wait a second, that ball's not in at all. Actually, it's bouncing off the crossbar, and unfortunately, he doesn't get the best read on this ball. He might be thinking that it's going to hit crossbar and bounce down. That's what it looks like based on the low altitude of jump that he's going to go for. Either that or he's expecting a Tau to get here really quickly. But there's no reason why Sizen wouldn't be able to get up to this and clear it out with the amount of boost he has. So this might either be a misread or a misinterpretation of how fast Atao is coming on. Now it does look that based on this jump, he expected it to bounce more down this way, thus why he's staying so low to the ground, because he easily beats Atao to this if he just jumps right for it. So probably just a little bit of a misread here. He does adjust himself great to try to go ahead and flip in front of this challenge. He gets a piece of it, but unfortunately Atao dunks it through. And really, I think you see mistakes from all three players here. You have Sizen not controlling the ball along the sidewall and just giving the ball away to Team Liquid. You have Radosin not being able to get a solid 50-50 in the air against Oski. And then you have Alpha rushing the touch on the back wall and putting Sizen in an almost impossible situation. So unfortunate goal to give up for sure for Team Vitality, but we're still tied 2-2, so let's see how things crumbled in overtime. So we fast forward now to almost 2 minutes into overtime, and we're going to be on board here with Alpha to start things off. So in the current situation, we have both our teammates Sizen and Radosin working their way back downfield. We as last men back want to make sure that we don't allow a dangerous counterattack here. We see that Atao doesn't have great control of the ball, so we're going to go ahead and cut this out early. So this is great play from Alpha to go ahead and poke this ball around Atao, and now he can go ahead and jump up and follow after it. Now, Alpha has quite a bit of boost, and I'm not sure who makes this call, but either Alpha or Radosin call for this pass to the sidewall. Radosin's going to go ahead and work his way up it. The problem is that if we look at a Chronic, he's already reading this pass. He's already seeing it, he's already driving up the wall, so we're not really in a great position to pass this. If I was Alpha here, I would prefer him to call Radosin off, tell Radosin to go back still, and Alpha just control this ball into a 50-50 with a Chronic, as you can see where he's coming from. If Radosin has ball cam on here, he can't see a Chronic at all. He's driving up this wall blind, and he's just trusting that you're going to get the ball to him. In Alpha's position here, seeing the whole play, call Radosin off, send him back on defense, play safe, take the 50-50, and reset. Instead, we're going to commit for this pass, and much like we expected, a Chronic jumps up and cuts it off. Now, we're going to go ahead and switch over to our good friend Sizen once again. So Sizen sees all this happening, and now you'll notice in Sizen's current view that there's one Team Liquid player here, one Team Liquid player here, and we don't see the third one. That's because the third one is over here in our corner, on the corner wall right now. He's just chilling over here waiting for this touch to come through from a Chronic so we can jump off to play it out. So from Sizen's perspective, he sees this boom coming through from a Chronic. He's going to go ahead and head back. And now here comes Atao off the wall to go ahead and put this pass out. Now I don't mind Sizen being on the back wall here, because if Atao somehow manages to just shoot this ball, we need to be in a position to make a save. Otherwise, we feel pretty confident that we have a player rotating back who should be able to cut off anything into the midfield, and then we can cover the net. Unfortunately, Alpha's rotation here does not lend itself to assisting in any kind of pass, and this is what's gonna lead to our downfall. The Sizen's gonna be chilling on the wall, and this pass bounces off the backboard out into the midfield, and you'll notice that Alpha is rotating back into the back corner. So this means that Sizen is totally alone, has to do everything himself. So in this instance, the ball bouncing off the wall, Sizen jumps down to the ground, and he really has two choices here. And he doesn't make either of the ones that I think are good options. Number one, he could just stay on the backboard, waiting for Oski's shot to come through, and attempt to just jump out and save it whenever the shot does come through. This is a little risky, relying on Oski's shot and relying on our ability to anticipate where it's going, and with Oski basically having the whole net to shoot at is extremely dangerous. The second option is with our 60 boost, instead of jumping down to the ground, we can jump out to attempt to cut off this angle and just kind of aerial out with the ball to cut off the angles from Oski. I think this is the best option because it allows Alpha to rotate back behind us as we challenge the initial shot from Oski, and then Alpha can hopefully clean it up from there. The third option that the entire team has, and I think would completely disintegrate this Team Liquid offense, actually stems here with Alpha's rotation. So as he lands from this attempted pass, he'll see this entire play unfold with Atao jumping. Alpha is going to flip forward here and head into the corner. And like we said before, that's going to put Sizen in the awkward spot of having to cover the whole net. If Alpha, instead of rotating into the corner, rotates more like this and cuts into the midfield, that means that when this pass comes out from a Tau, he'd be in this general vicinity, possibly able to cut it off. Yes, he has low boost, but I think this is a much better option than leaving Sizen on an island like this. Because we'll see that as he rotates back into this corner, this ball pops out, Sizen jumps off the wall, Oski comes in, and if Alpha had been in the midfield, say around this area, it's very possible that he could at least get over to put himself in front of this ball, and then Sizen could still cover the back line, instead of making Sizen responsible for shot, goal, basically the entire area of the net as we rotate back with 0 boost. Definitely things that could have been done better here by both Alpha and Sizen. Unfortunately, after going for the pass from Alpha, Radosin is totally out of the play. So again, not sure who really orchestrated that attempted pass play, but it really did come back to bite them here as the goal goes in from Oski, and that is the elimination of Team Vitality. Definitely not the way that Vitality wanted their major to end. It did look like they were quite the dark horse candidate to go on quite the run if they had just managed to get by Team Liquid here. Who knows what would have happened? Of course, the future of Team Vitality is now completely up in the air as they are bringing in the young gun Zen in replacement of Sizen. So will it be an improvement? Everyone's kind of expecting so, but we really won't know for sure until we see them in action in the spring. Of course, if you guys do enjoy videos like this and other videos that I have produced, please consider clicking that bright red subscribe button right down below this video. It really does help me out a lot more than you guys realize, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys. And of course, if you're looking for some more Rocket League entertainment, might I recommend checking out this playlist right here for some more RLCS replay analysis. Or check out this video over here to see a countdown of the top 10 biggest blunders of the RLCS Winter Major.